What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sandlock Gaming's Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. We are rolling through the Tomb of Annihilation module. This is session 12, I believe, of this module. We're roaming through the jungles of Chult. In our party, we have a... who makes up our party? We have a druid, a warlock, a monk, a wizard, and a bard. Last week we had quite the battle. We got ambushed in a camp, and we had to kind of fight our way through it, and right now we are running on fumes. We managed to get through the battle without losing anybody, but we have very little resources left, including hit points. So we're going to try to figure out maybe how we can get recovered and where we want to go next on this. We also have a pet Allosaurus currently who is charmed to our party, and we're going to try to figure out how to deal with that because he will not always be charmed towards our party. Let's jump into the chat and see what's going on.
Right?
Yeah.
You look like the Troy we all know, but then I just had a picture of you crop up today in my Facebook feed. Apparently you went to go see some show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like you lost a shit ton of weight in that photo.
No.
No? Okay.
Just a good angle. Just as good side, I guess. I had that happen at customs once. I went to the airport and I had my driver's license picture that I was the exact same weight that I was when I took the driver's license picture.
Yeah.
And I went up there and the guy goes, "Oh, okay. Congratulations." And I was like, "What's for?" It's like, "All the weight." And I was just like, no.
That's great.
Just me looking slightly downwards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whenever Alex takes the photo, I look thinner because she knows the secrets to selfies.
You mean the angles? She's got all the angles?
I know.
All the right
you
moves.
go overhead, right? Overhead, I think.
That's the way to do it.
Overhead and look up.
She waits till you're naturally doing a duck
See,
face.
look, like this.
Right.
I look super thin, like this.
I'm not really sure what
Oh
the
my
duck face
God.
thing is about.
I don't know. Teens, man. Kids today.
Like, does that like accentuate certain parts of their jawline, or is it just like a fad?
Yeah.
The double chin.
The sluttiness. It
What's
accentuates
a
the
duck
sluttiness.
face? Oh.
If you don't know, I'm not going to be the one to tell you.
Ah, Anthony, what happened to you?
Good God, Anthony.
God!
Anthony.
You
Hey,
fall
no,
into
that's
some,
my voice. That's my
fall
voice.
into some toxic goo?
Anthony. I like meatballs.
The radiation, what has it done to
You
you?
have the worst German accent ever.
I like meatballs.
I've been playing Sniper Elite 4 a little bit, and I find I just spend the entire time going, "Say goodbye to your Nazi balls." And then shooting someone in the testicles from like 300 yards away.
I think Steve has a new trash talk line.
I saw you playing that, and I tried to party up with you to ask you if you were shooting people in the testicles.
Oh, as much as possible. And every time I see intestine shot, it is gross, but I'm like, overshot it. You know what I mean? Because I really want, the nut explosion. And then half the time, I try to do it mostly on Nazi officers. And if you get it right, it does crush their testicles, but then they lie there on the ground going, "Someone help me!" And then they bleed out like 40 seconds later.
There's so
That's
many
like the other
jokes here.
balls.
Like, are we still talking about the video game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm secretly good at marksmanship. I've just been hiding it like a genius for my entire life.
Well, mostly about the nut explosions.
All right, we ready to get started? Because I think Andy's going to be a little bit late.
Yeah. Andy volunteers to block all the traps with his body.
Go get him, Roland.
That's what he messaged all of us, right? We're all in agreement.
Yeah, we all. That's
He
what
said
I
he's
thought.
good with whatever we decided. So
Whatever we decided. If we decide to have a giant meat shield of a couple octopuses to block the traps.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to roll a d4 to determine who's going to do the recap. And it's Nick.
I knew it was going to be me.
It's a pretty easy recap, to be honest.
So our party, after someone decided to energize their magic fist and blow holes through tents randomly.
And Scream.
Excuse me?
And Scream.
Yes.
I was singing Loveful.
There's some yelling.
You were yelling "love fool." Not how it's meant to be performed.
Aggro a bunch of skeletons and goblins, which our party was able to heroically fend off while also taming a rampant Allosaurus, which is getting ready to devour everyone. But through some good luck rolls and through some crafty spellcasting, our druid Roland was able to tame the Allosaurus and help use it to fend off the invading evil forces that were attacking us. And upon wiping out the evil forces, which I'm just being redundant, our party decided to take a break for the night and go to bed.
There were no such thing.
I think you guys started to talk about that, but Hillers, you had spider climbed, right?
Spider climb. Yeah.
Spider climbed along the ceiling or high wall of the temple tunnel, all the way back to, and here, let's load things up.
Yeah, my hope was to disable the traps and find a safe place for the party to hole up for some amount of time.
All right.
I'm hoping that there's just like a room back here where we can.
Yep.
Barricade and take shelter.
Barricade in, right? It's nothing safer than all the traps we've just transversed here, and I think I have a way for the party to safely transgress them. So,
hey guys, are you able to send Anthony a video request
On Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. You mean for the call?
or whatever?
Yeah.
Just inviting him. Just
What's his what's his Discord?
Royd?
I think I can. I got it.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
memory serves, it's Ball Liker 2000.
Paul Liker. That's right.
There we go.
Ooh, that's a vertical.
I turned mine all the way down.
Oh, there's a whole Brady Bunch situation going on now.
Ah,
Oh,
damn
look,
it.
all right, Andy's back.
Good God.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Oh, this is a bad arrangement.
They're just front and center.
Story.
Yeah.
It was still good a second ago.
Yeah, you're like the Alice.
Thanks a lot, Andy. You totally messed up the video chat.
I can leave.
Wait, did Nick just leave?
Yeah, Nick just.
What's
dropped
going
off.
on?
Yeah, he's got to reset his headphones because I'm jacked.
Okay.
It's jacked up with me here.
No, it's just because.
Nope,
Oh,
echoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's got to stop.
So I think one of you has to mute.
Yeah, it'll be me.
That can be Nick.
All right, so before we get to you, Steve, the Recto, the Allosaurus, kind of stomps by, coming through the mud and muck and kind of pillars that had jutted out from the ground from the spell that Roland had cast, and he sniffs around and kind of peers into your tent, and you see the big kind of yes.
I thought Iku was walking off with the Allosaurus when we left off.
No, Iku talked to the Allosaurus, and then you saw the Allosaurus
there.
turn
All right.
and walk
Sorry.
off.
Proceed on having him eat me.
And so you see the head of the Allosaurus kind of peek down into the tent, big eyeball, kind of sniffs around. And a second later, kind of walks off to the north back towards the jungle.
Are there any puddles that ripple?
Did
Yeah,
he
they
use
rippled.
his claw
Yeah.
to open the tent flap?
Fare thee well, Herman. Fare thee well.
Did,
Herman Timbo, one of our few surviving pets.
so unless anybody's going to try and stop it, it's leaving.
I have no intention of doing anything that.
No,
hard.
thank you.
Recto changes his pants.
That's a hard pass.
All right. Farewell, Herman 2.0.
I'll just keep calling him Herman, no numbers. That way, it just gets better.
No, we can't. Yeah, we can't lose track of
No, we need
Where
to know
does
the
it
number
began?
of fallen pets, and we only just started at Herman's. There's been about 3 or 4 thus far.
All right, so Steve, as that's going on, you're clambering along the top of the wall. You see, and just to recap for everybody, towards the main entrance to the House of Man and Crocodile, there was a pit trap that Steve found that has since reset itself a second time. So the floor is flat, but I think all of you are generally aware of where it is. Beyond there, Zygmundo, you found some scythes that came out of the walls to slice some folks up. Those have also reset themselves, so those scythes are back inside of the walls because they come down, they slice, go back up.
Everybody wants to know, how is my rubber chicken?
The rubber chicken you feel peeking out of the back of your pants as it somehow at some point, and you don't remember feeling it, you don't remember this happening, but it just like sometime the past like 30 seconds it reappeared, and it seems to be kind of like nested in your butt crack with its head poking out of the back of your pants.
Yikes.
Ah, familiar friend.
And I thought you were just happy to see me.
So past those sides, Steve, as you're crawling, you see that there's a ledge that rises up about 7 feet, a floor with a grid pattern on that floor that extends for another 10 feet, and then another ledge that goes up about 7 feet. So you crawled along that high ceiling up to the top of that second ledge where there is a door. So you crawled down, and you're standing in front of a very large door. It's probably about 6 feet wide by about 8 feet tall. And that door also has a grid pattern carved into it. It's a 4x4 grid pattern with pretty sizable squares. Each square is probably about close to a 1 foot square. So it's a big grid.
Okay. Can I see anything else on the ledge? Any sort of indentations, levers, places where there's less dust? Anything of note whatsoever?
So go ahead and do a perception check.
Okay. Bloop. Okay.
What's your base perception?
It's
Passive
not
perception.
amazing. Passive is that just wisdom?
It'll actually be on your character
At
sheet.
the bottom of your skills, all the way underneath your skills.
Oh, 11.
Okay.
Make it to 11.
That's,
So you don't.
Great.
The dust is thick here. The only there's little bits of organic debris. There's some moss, but nothing looks like it's touched this ledge in a long time.
Advanced state of disrepair. All right, I'd like to have Hansy hit the and if my ping is showing up, this square on the door. Just press.
You are purple. Okay, so is that the so let me go ahead and do something here.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn.
Is this going to be one of those?
You got
So
a
you
battleship.
You want him to touch square 2? Is that what you were?
Square 2, correct. Just on the door, just sort of press it.
Oh, on the door.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's with you. He's not on the floor.
he's with me.
Okay,
That's the
okay.
floor.
Okay. And is he on like standing on the ground or just flying next to the door?
Yeah, he's just sort of hovering, a couple feet off the ground.
Okay. I need you and Hansy to both make a DC 13 Constitution check. Saving throw. Sorry.
Oh God. Well, I don't know how to make one for him, unfortunately, but I will hit.
I will make it for him.
Just roll a d20.
Roll a d20.
There's mine. If his action still counts, he was set to like perma help.
Well,
But if
yeah,
he's
but
saving
he has
as
to
well,
choose. You have to choose a thing that he helps with, right? Let's
oh, okay.
let's
So,
pull this back again.
Okay.
Sorry, this is a recurring thing. We have to
This
look
is
up
our
some
weekly check
old-
on what the help action does.
No, I want to do it this way.
Well, in the previous battle, Hansy normally takes his turns with me, and I was saying every time Hansy takes his turn, unless I tell you otherwise, it's going to be him helping me. Now that
But
we're out of battle,
is it helping with an ability check, or is it helping with an attack, or what is it helping
well,
with?
in that case, it was always attacks. In this case, obviously, I would prefer he help me with my save. But,
All right, let me just
but
look up the
if
familiar
he
real quick.
can't, if he's also making a save at the same time, totally legit. I just need to know which way it is.
Can your rubber chicken help you, Andrew?
Oh, it does. Come on. It being destroyed in a comical trap wasn't good enough for last week.
I'd say throw it in there again.
It'll never be destroyed.
And
See if he can use it to gum up the works.
and
Just
I have
get
a
his
one
guts all over it.
Find familiar doesn't actually say anything about them being able to do that.
What, the help action?
Mm-hmm.
No, familiars can cast the help action. Any familiar. It doesn't even have to be a warlock familiar.
I don't think
I
this
just want to find where it talks about
familiar
that.
that casts it though, is it?
They can take actions like anything else, and help is a standard action. I mean, I just Googled it, and every single thing that I'm saying says yes.
Sure, but what I want to find out is like what the actual says.
Okay.
Says yes.
But I mean, familiars can take actions, right?
Mm-hmm. They can definitely take actions.
And help is a type of action. So
Okay, so then I'm gonna say it should be just the normal help action, right?
correct.
Which that is the rule there.
So attacks and abilities.
This
Doesn't say
ability
anything about
check it makes to perform the task you are helping with. So I guess when you say
so
it's helping,
saves. So saves do not count.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because this is not an ability check.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
No
Nick,
problem.
we're not debating anything. We're trying to understand like what are the limits for Hansy's help. Like, so
What's
here's
the
the thing. Like,
limits of help?
you can't just have permanent advantage to everything you try to do.
Hey,
you got to try.
you can try. You can try to have permanent advantage.
The other thing I would remind you there is, so I think we're clear on it. It doesn't work with saving throws, but the other thing to remember is that taking an action costs about 6 seconds, right?
Hands
We
is
know
action.
that's
Yeah.
right. And so if he was the one interacting with the door, he couldn't at the simultaneously be
Help me at the
helping
same-
you,
Got it.
right?
Fair. Yep.
Give
Okay.
him a cooldown. Sorry, I'm backseat DMing.
Yeah. So I think
not a
we're
bad
okay
idea.
as long as
You
I
shut
think
up
we're-
if you're trying to limit hands in any way. You're not part of this.
All right. So here comes Hansies. Okay, so Hansy makes it. All right. So as Hansy touches this this square on the grid, all of a sudden you hear this rumble and this huge burst of sound emanates from the door. Flying you back away from the door about 10 feet. Hansy starts to fly away as well, but is able to kind of flutter back towards the door. You are going to take 9 points of thunder damage.
Ouch.
Hansy's going to take
Thing is,
Hansy's going to take 5 points of thunder damage. I can update Hansy here.
You're not. I promise you're not.
3,
I like having Anthony here. I just want to say.
Yeah.
9, 0. Okay.
Go ahead and can you roll a D10? This is going to determine kind of. So you get pushed back. Actually, sorry, don't roll a D10.
I'm sorry.
Roll a no. It's fine. That's fine. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll a D4. Okay, and that's going to determine how far back you go. So 1 is 1 square back. 2 is 2 squares back. Okay, so you're going to go back to the second row back. Now roll another D4 to determine kind of which vertical square you land
my
on.
God.
I'll be right back again. I trust
So,
you.
This is
All
going
right.
great.
So you get thrown back. You land flat on your back, boosh, against the floor of this grid. As you land on that floor, you see a light emanate from below you as the square that you've landed on begins to glow brightly red, and all of a sudden these jets of flame come shooting out of the wall across the entire grid. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage because you're prone.
Oh, nice knowing you, Steve.
Steve. Oh, Steve.
Well,
That will not do it.
No.
So you're going to take 22 points of fire damage.
okay. Well, I am out. Can I?
God.
Can I still dictate what Hansy does?
Yeah.
Okay.
You better make some badass saving throws.
As he floats around, you know, I'd like him to see my currently barbecued level of distress. Get the rope out of my backpack, tie it around my waist, and then fly it over to the group at the front of the feet without touching the ground, obviously.
Okay, so Hansy flies over, seeing what's happened. You're nearly unconscious.
I'm
like
quite
your last kind of command to him as consciousness leaves you is, Hansy, tie me up with rope and pull me out of here.
Get me back to the party. Right.
So he flies down. He is able to rummage in your bag, pull the rope, wraps it around you, but he's a pretty small little guy. Let me pull him up.
And you're no spring chicken, Hillers.
Oh, I don't weigh that much. I mean, he can, move me around a little bit.
But you want him to? So do you want him to drag you to the front?
No, I want him to just tie a rope around me and then take the other end of the rope to the party, so that they can drag me out of here.
So you're gonna stay where you are. He's just carrying the rope.
Correct.
I see. Okay, that's a big difference. Okay, so Hansy flies off toward the west. We're gonna have to have him roll a dexterity saving throw, though.
From an RP standpoint, what we see now is a floating piece of rope coming towards us. With no
Is Hansy invisible?
I think it's fair to say that he's trying to get their attention at this point, because my direction to him was to get me to the group. So he's not trying to be stealthy.
Okay, and we're gonna have him make a DC 13 dexterity save against the sides.
Oh boy! So you don't even have to hit the ground
trap on the floor.
I guess not.
He does make it. But the damage is enough for him, so he barely makes it. But as he's flying through, holding that rope, one of the wooden parts of the scythe that holds it together comes down. He barely dodges out of the way, but tangles into that rope, swinging him around. He slams his head against the staff that's of the scythe, knocking him unconscious.
And now he's in the concussion protocol.
All right, so that's what you guys saw. So what you guys saw, you guys heard this. So Zygmundo, you hear this loud boom. You look over to your east. You can't see anything other than maybe you see a little bit of flame shooting up above on this ledge, about 7 feet above you, far to the east. You do see a rope being carried by Hansy as he flies through the hallway as fast as he can until he's unfortunately entangled in the sides, knocked out, and falls to the floor.
Where's
The
his?
sides go over top of him, but can't quite reach him.
All right. So where's his body actually currently at this moment?
Guys, can you not see him on the map?
It still shows him on the gridded floor.
Oh, I got him.
Steve? That's where Steve is, yes.
Ah.
Where is Hansy currently? Is Hansy accurately represented on the map?
He is, that's correct.
Okay.
I've lost my interest in this temple, guys.
All right. In a steady but urgent tone, I do not yell, but strongly cast my voice. Guys, quick! I think something's wrong.
Linda, what's wrong with your voice? What happened to your accent?
This is my hurried voice. Everybody, come on! Come running at once!
So,
do I hear that from where I am?
you might have vaguely heard, or did you hear what? Did you hear Zygmundo's yell?
Yeah.
No.
Anything.
Strong tone.
Strong tone. So you weren't yelling.
No. I'm afraid to yell at this moment.
I think Iku would hear. Roland, go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage to determine whether you heard. Same thing for you, Recto. Squawk, I would say that you heard, and Iku.
Ooh, he's perceptive.
So, Roland,
I'm in
you did hear that. I don't know if you caught all of it, but you caught Zygmundo saying something, and it sounded like there was panic in his voice.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to Zygmundo.
Steve, go ahead and make a death saving throw, please. Remember that it is DC 15.
Yeah, I know.
Yay!
That's one success.
Oh, each one is so precious.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
All right. So, Roland, do you start heading back?
Yeah, I start heading up there.
Okay, so Squawk, what are you doing?
I'm going to fly towards Zygmundo.
All right, so you get right up to Zygmundo. Recto, did you hear this? It looks like you did. Yeah, you heard this. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, what is this brown stuff in front of me?
It's just difficult terrain.
It's where the ground got all messed up.
Not gonna hurt me walking through it.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Explode or anything, or
Well,
turn into a giant pit of fire, something.
well, we'll see.
God. All right. Well, yeah. Then I'm gonna make my way there, but I don't want to walk through the dangerous stuff. So I guess I'll walk back around like this way.
Okay, so you walk all the way around. Okay, so you get to about here. All right, so Squawk, you're the first to arrive. Roland, you made it about over to Herman. Iku and Squawk both come up and approach Zygmundo. Squawk, what do you do?
What's wrong?
I relay what I heard and saw,
Which is
you just want me to do the voice, don't you?
well, I don't know what's going on. So what did you hear?
I said it was a loud boom, and then I think of the bodies and the flying, and then look what over there.
Okay. Do I see? I try to look up really confused and look around. Well, what did he say?
You do see the collapsed body of Hansy holding onto a rope about 20 feet to your east.
How tight is this area in going into it?
So this is about 10 feet wide, 20 feet tall, maybe even 25 to 30 feet tall. So it's quite. Could you fly? Yeah, you could fly.
Freely, could I like easily fly there? I guess is the question.
Yes. Like there's not a ton of room for maneuvering, but you can stretch your wings out and still have several feet on either side.
Okay, then I would like to fly down. I'll fly down and grab the rope. I'm gonna fly down the middle of the room and grab the rope with my little like feet.
Okay.
While I stay in the air.
Okay. So
I don't, at no point do I want to touch the ground. I just want to pick up the rope and like fly out.
Okay. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh God.
Sorry, second.
Actually, sorry. Hold on. Do a roll a d20 first, just a natural d20.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh, wait. Why do you roll 2?
I only see a 20. I don't see any other 14.
Yeah, I don't either. I only saw 1. So
Either are okay. So you fly into the area, but the trap does not trigger.
Okay.
So you are able to reach out and what you wanted to grab the rope. Is that what you're doing?
Grab my rope with my talons and then like kind of fly out.
Okay, so you start to fly off, and how long is this rope, Steve?
50-foot.
Or I'm actually asking Chris. So it's 50-foot rope
tied around me, so 40.
Okay.
40.
So there's plenty. There's plenty of slack. So Squawk, you start to fly west. You're leaving Hansy there. So you're taking the hook from Hansy. Okay. So you fly back towards the window. There's still plenty of slack. It's not taut. You're not pulling Steve at this point. Steve, go ahead and make a death saving throw, please.
coming fast and furious.
So many, so quickly. All right. Ouch. All right.
So that's one fail. All right, let's go back to Roland and Recto. So you guys, what you see at this point is you see Squawk flying back out of the mouth of the cave. He's almost at Zygmundo. He's got a rope in his talons.
Right. You're not,
Go for it. I'm still looking.
I'm going to continue walking up towards the steps and walking up the steps. Try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm going to head up there too.
So you approach the group. Iku kind of tiptoes forward cautiously, making sure not to trigger the pit drop. Roland, what are you doing?
I'm going to move up and kind of take a look at the scene. Probably up right below Recto there. Yeah.
Okay. Zygmundo, do you tell them anything, or what are you doing here?
No, I'm basically telling them that it's very, very bad, and I think Steve is very hurt, and you got to be careful with the traps.
What do you got, Squawk?
I have a piece of rope.
Okay, then I stand there.
Zygmundo says Steve is on the other end of this rope. The little man is on the other end of this rope.
Oh, well, then I'd like to try to grab the rope if I can and help pull.
We're going to drag him under the thing, and then he's going to fall into the pit.
Well,
oh my God, you're right.
Actually, I'd like.
I don't know there's a pit.
Sure, I don't either.
I know there's a pit. I climbed up out of it. I tell everybody there's a pit, and there's some blades.
While they're doing that, I'd like to actually transform into a giant spider and occupy the ceiling.
Okay.
I would like to kind of be right about here as close
Okay.
to the blades as I kind of can be, but still on the ceiling and not into them yet.
Let me grab your spider form here. Might not have them.
Thus ends Steve Dark Magic.
For what's worth from an arcane standpoint, I don't see how a bardic inspiration would affect a death saving throw.
I don't know if you can use them on those either.
Oh, because it has to be before the results are known, and if you know what the results are known. What the hell is that?
Okay, so that's the giant spider.
That's friendly. That's just rolling.
I wink at Squawk with one of my 8 eyes.
But yeah, so I'll grab the rope. For lack of any other option, I'm going to grab the rope and start pulling too.
Real quick, Roland, where did you say you went? You like?
So I kind of want to be. I want to be on the ceiling to be able to not spring trap. And see, can I see Handsy's attached to one of these sides? Do I know that it's there since I haven't seen it actually activate?
So you're on the ceiling, but are you on the ceiling above EQ? And are you on the ceiling above?
No, I'm above like the trap.
Okay.
I don't know that trap's not there, but I want to get up towards the top of these things, assuming I know that.
So you can see Hansy. Hansy's just from where you are. You can see both Hansy and Steve. So you can see Hansy, who's just laying down, collapsed, not moving, at the bottom of the floor near you, and then you can see a 7-foot ledge, and then beyond that you see Steve laid down, also not moving, with a rope tied around his waist, and the rope leads off to Squawk and Recto, who are holding on to it, about to pull.
All right, I'd like to just kind of observe how the pulling goes.
Okay, so you guys are pulling?
Try to pull out a bag of popcorn and start eating it.
So, Recto, you were going to pull on the rope. Is anybody else helping?
I'll help.
Okay. So Recto, go ahead and wait a minute, who said they were going to help?
I Zigmundo.
Sorry.
So here's what I'd recommend, Zigmundo, because this is how our party works. Why don't you make an athletics check, and I would recommend Recto provide the help action so that Zigmundo, you are doing it with advantage.
Sure, I'm spotting him.
Recto, what is Recto's strength on that?
8.
Oh my God!
Zigmundo, you have the highest strength in the party.
No.
Well, you're tied, but
okay. So I'm
The other
rolling
one is
strength.
currently dead. So
What? I'm sorry. You asked me to roll strength, right?
roll an athletics check
Athletics.
with advantage. With advantage.
good news is
If we can't pull him, I can move from where I am, but I'm going to try to catch him, hopefully.
I have a 10 strength.
Yeah, but you didn't say you were pulling.
That's true. I am pulling though.
he's got the rope.
So you are going to pull?
Well, I haven't. I wasn't okay. I wasn't actively going. I wasn't doing it. I think you specifically said that Squawk and Recto were already pulling.
Oh, Recto was the only one I've heard say it was going to pull. You were holding it. So you want to pull? Are any of the three of you proficient in athletics?
Well, I did row crew at Harvard.
All right.
Athletics is something that I excel.
All right. So you pull on the rope, and so with the three of you pulling together, you're able to tug and pretty easily slide Steve across that floor. Steve, you can't tell what's happening, but you in your consciousness you can start to feel like movement. You feel some heat fire as flame jets shoot, but before it can get to you, your body drops off of this ledge, flailing, ragdolling down. Boom. Go ahead. That's going to be one failed death saving throw as you take damage from the fall.
Oh, guys, we cannot pull him across the pit. It's not going to work.
Killers, you could always metamorphosize to Steve Light Magic after this.
Steve the Gray Magic.
All right, and now, Chris, please roll a d20 and roll high.
Because Steve goes now, right?
Oh. Oh no.
So that's 20 minus 1, right? That's what that means?
Oh my god!
Is that bad?
Oh, I really like that guy.
Oh my god.
I'll start working on my new character sheet.
So,
Any
so
No, I got nothing. I got nothing. That's 2 failures by itself.
So the 3 of so that wasn't a death. Well, that so okay.
I'm
that was
dead now.
oh shit. That was the death saving throw. That wasn't even.
I'm
Steve Light Magic time.
extra dead.
Well, Hiller's on the bright side. You won't be playing Dungeons and Dragons right now, so you can drink.
I'm gonna go
So-
make a drink.
All right. So
That's fair.
Cannot
Yeah.
believe that.
so as
That went
Steve's,
bad so fast.
I was like, I just like to touch a door. Bam! It hits. I
So
didn't
as
even
Steve's-
touch the door. The imp touched the door.
So as Steve's limp body gets pulled by the rope, tumbles off of the ledge, collapsing to the floor below, the sides come out.
Oh no! The desecration. Oh.
Eviscerate Steve, and you guys can only watch see the sides cut deeply into his stomach, and his insides spill out as his body comes to a stop in the hallway. Blood pools on the floor, and he's motionless and still.
Can I
Okay,
use the
does
first aid
doing
as
it,
Steve
does
Bobby
his
to
body
bring him
stop
back to
the
life?
sides? As a bonus?
Can we continue
What
to
was the
pull him?
question?
I lit his
Oh, no.
corpse.
So you want to fly down there and loot his corpse?
No.
So respectful.
Can we
You guys
continue to
can-
pull him?
Yes, the rope has survived.
Which
right.
half do they get?
Then let's keep pulling him quick. Pull him
One with
quick.
the loot?
Okay, so go ahead and do another athletics check.
God.
Me? Who?
It's going to be whoever was pulling, which last time was you,
Oh.
Zigmundo, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really care. And it's with advantage because the other 2 are helping you. All right, so you give a hard pull as you feel the pressure, as you see something as horrible has happened to Steve. You're not sure if it's too late or not. You start to reel the rope in, pulling him across the floor. His body bumps into Hansy. As you see that happen, you see Hansy kind of fade away into the ether. You continue to pull the body towards you.
When he gets across there, I would like to kind of web him to sort of grab him.
Also, as Hansy floats away, he's flicking off the whole party. One in each hand.
He was
Just
unconscious.
really angry. No. He had a burst of consciousness as he died. To look at them all in the eye and individually tell
So
them all
as-
to go fuck themselves.
As Steve's body gets pulled on top of the pit trap miraculously does not trigger. The floor does not drop. Roland, what were you saying you were going to do?
I was going to try to web him because I was going to try to keep him from falling. I was going to try to web him, kind of grab him to bring him out.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. So you shoot your webs down, spin it around, and you're able to pull Steve up just a little bit, just a few inches off the ground. As they continue to pull on the rope, Steve's body finally making it back to the rest of the
Does
group.
anybody have Revivify?
Mm-mm.
What about Iku?
Are you sure you don't roll him?
No.
Can we? Iku,
Are
does
you
Iku have
sure
anything that
you
can help
don't
him?
roll in?
Let's take a look.
That'll work in this world right now. Like that's permanent now. in this
No,
world.
I don't have it.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, I can hit him with a heal, but that doesn't.
That's a good point, Nick.
Iku turns to the three of you, and says, "I'm sorry. Your friend is gone." And as you look down, you can see a trail of blood smeared across the ground, heading to the east. And Steve, with his gut cut wide open, flame has singed his skin, and his eyes are open and motionless.
You guys hungry or?
I'm gonna go get some wine.
Yep.
Ah,
Oh god, that sucks. I mean, I know he's gonna roll another character, but that's not gonna matter out in the jungle. Like, how's that gonna roll into our group? You know. So,
I'll work with Chris to make sure that can work.
So I'm gonna fly off to the west.
Just in general.
I'm gonna fly off to. Let's see. Can I find a soft soily spot while I'm flying around to look for to start digging a grave?
Yeah. So actually, this area that has been destroyed by Roland's spell, it's kind of burst the hard topsoil apart. So there's a lot of soft earth there.
Okay, I'm gonna start digging. I want to start. I don't have any tools, so I'm just gonna start using my claws and whatever to start digging a grave.
Okay. So Iku turns to Sigmundo and Recto as Squawk flies away and says, "Your friend is gone, and as loath as I am to even suggest it, there is a way that he could be brought back, but he would not be himself."
Even darker magic.
Go on.
We are headed to
Go
Imbala,
on.
and in Imbala there is a great evil, the evil that I've asked for you to join me in defeating. This evil is also the only magic in the jungle that I know of right now that can instill the dead with some form of life. But I tell you this, that if we go to this awful, awful place and seek to bring your friend back, what will come back will not be your friend. It will be something that looks like your friend, but he will not be complete ever again.
Not really a friend.
Well,
Back
he's
out of there,
missing
Squawk.
the bottom half of his body.
You're the one digging a grave with your bare hands.
Talons.
Talents. How do I make a new character sheet?
I'll make one for you.
Questions you never want to ask.
Can you just put a blank one up there that I can start filling out?
There's already a Steve Dark Magic 2.0 character sheet, so you could.
I'll just alter that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't. That doesn't sound like something. As much as I love Steve, I'm not interested in bringing back more undead evil shit into this world. So, gonna hold off on that.
Noted.
I'd
from
like-
the afterlife.
I'd
Very
like
upset
to place myself in human body back over here.
Instead of that giant cockroach that you were. Ugh.
Thank
But
you.
I'm willing to go with what the party
and
decides.
I would like to just kind of shake my head and say, no, this is not right.
Stupid good party.
Okay.
Ah, boy. All right.
I mean, there's still 2 more votes out
You-
there.
Right.
I'd like to head over here, and you don't have to transform me. I'd like to turn into a wolf and just start digging.
Okay. So you transform into dire wolf, and Squawk is like really shit at digging. Like he can't form like any kind of scooping motion. It's just like you walk over, you see all these little lines,
dusting the surface.
but then you turn into this dire wolf and just boom, boom. You start to see dirt fly up into the behind your from behind Roland's tail as so he starts jetting the dirt out and digs deeply quickly.
Yeah, I mean, so that said, we still have Squawk and I mean, Zig, you haven't weighed in yet either on how you want to handle that. If you want to try to,
I'm sorry, try to what?
if you want to try to bring him back.
So being that I'm from this area, do I know? Okay, like this is like real world questioning here. So
Yeah. Yep.
this is
Out of character question. Yep.
that we need to essentially double tap him. Like, do I know that if there's a way that like if you were dead and you come back, that's like
God.
like zombies or something?
We need to detach the head, is what he's asking.
Yeah. So you're
Got
quite young. So you're quite young. The undead have been a part of your life for your entire life, but you don't have a lot of knowledge about how it works. You and your people made your homes up high in the cliffs of Kirsabal. You were fortunate to not have to encounter the Walking Dead very frequently.
Okay.
So you don't really know. You can decide if you have some superstitions yourself, but it's nothing.
At this point, it's just going to be very fortuitous kind of superstition, so I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to say.
All right, so here's my thought on this.
I have no theory behind it. So
I ask our guide how long, or how, if we were going to try to do this, how would we go about doing it? How long is the side quest, et cetera, et cetera?
So Iku, you can tell she's pained to even suggest this, right? Because what she wants to go is to go destroy this evil. She tells you she feels professionally obligated as your guide to give you the option, but she does not think you should do this. She tells you that you are going to Imbala either way, though. That is the destination that you have all set out for. Is the plateau of Imbala.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I don't want to. No, we don't carry him.
It'll probably take. She tells you it'll probably take 3 or 4 more days before you'll arrive.
Oh, in the jungle with him cut in half. Gross.
So he's not fully cut in half. He's still one piece. Just
Yeah, that's not gonna last in the jungle, guys.
Right.
He's gonna be a fraction of a
Maggots
person.
everywhere.
So look, I take this time to take all his like decent valuables off of him, and I put them to the side so we can divvy them up later. Because we're gonna burn him. It looks like.
That's what we do. I mean, we're the flames of Tressender. I mean, this is what we do.
He died as he lived, on fire, making bad decisions.
Oh, damn it. All right, so is that a no from you then, Zig?
That's a no.
All
He's
right,
a good
well, that's
character.
3
There's
then.
a lot of good stuff going for him.
okay. So Iku kind of bends over and starts to give a soft prayer to Steve's body, his corpse.
And he comes back to life.
Wow!
He does not.
Oh,
so.
damn.
Wow. What's that? A year? A year and 2 months? How long's he been alive? Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Brittle.
Well, now you can make that fighter now.
Yeah, let his life be a lesson to you. I don't have 2 warlocks anymore. Problem solved.
All right, so we want to try to we take any valuables he has basically on him. Make sure we secure those, and then basically bury his body up there on that.
I would
brown
say
stuff.
I'm not kidding. I'm with Nick on this. We burn him.
All right.
But we do it in a way to not make it
Yeah,
smell
you
too
guys
much.
make me a nice pyre out of the
Put him,
bodies.
put him,
of
put him
my
in the,
enemies.
put him in the hole. Burn him.
Yeah.
And I don't know how my spell works, although I think it's instantaneous, so I can't like tell the earth to go back down.
On the bodies of my enemies.
So
Throw 'em in there.
so you eventually drag Steve, or you carry him down and
Respectfully.
place him into this hole that has been dug out mostly by Roland, but you see a few scratch marks from Squawk.
Way to contribute.
And you lay him down in there. You're able to go nearby, closer to the jungle, find some wood. It's actually difficult to find dry wood as it was raining, but you're able to kind of break apart some of the larger rotten wood and find some dry wood underneath, and gather enough of that after about 30 minutes to come back and lay it down in the pit with Steve.
Can't we just light him on fire? I mean, I got that thing up. Like,
It's respect.
You could try to roast him, like with a flame of. Like,
no, I don't want to attract bears.
A nice sear. Locked in the flavor.
Steve himself is not flammable, so you can't really light him on fire per se.
Are his entrails flammable?
What was his fat content? Because I'm arguing this.
I feel like we're debating this far longer than we need to, guys.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
We throw him in a
So-
pile.
so
We
you're
set
able
the pile
to-
on
you're able to
fire.
Let's get
We
it
leave.
over with.
So you're able to gather the materials. Sigmundo, kind of you use your firebolt. The doom spark ignites a flame in the pit, and you guys are all gathered around, watching as Steve's body burns, turns to ash, and eventually mixes with the wood and the soot down in the pit, and you can no longer distinguish what is Steve and what is burnt.
I'd like to howl.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
I am going to play. Hang on a second.
I close
my
eyes only
for a moment, but the moment's gone.
Okay, we're on the day. We're on the day.
No, come on, give him a minute. I like it.
You're
Sorry.
my boy, Steve. You're my boy.
You're my boy, Steve.
Dust in the wind.
And
Ukulele was the best $25 I've spent in a long time.
actually, as the fire burns, I discussed the tales of Steve Dark Magic, the powerful warlock who faced off against hundreds of undead and saved the lives of our party countless times. You know, even though that I only had the privilege of being with this party for, and I understand that I'm way out of character on this. I'm still trying to figure out how to weave the tale of this as Squawk.
No, you're a bard. That's your job.
Yeah, and spin the heroic tale of Steve Dark Magic, and weave that into the stories of legend that I tell at taverns.
Okay. So as the fire dies out,
Hoping it's
you can see the sun setting. The rain has stopped. It's late in the evening, by 8 p.m.
We need to find a
So
place to spend
yeah,
the night.
I'd like to kind of look over it to find out from her like where are we going? What can we do? We gotta move.
Iku tells you that you can make camp near here, with the goblins dead and the undead dead. I think
Deader.
this would be deader,
Dead
destroyed.
again.
That this is likely just as safe as going the short distance you could down the river at this late. She recommends making camp nearby.
You guys want to hit into one of these tents and kind of make camp?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Wow, it takes so long to draw this map out.
I know. Okay.
At least I got something to do for the next few hours. These character sheets are no joke. Especially if you're taking it out to 5 levels.
Yeah.
Our proficiency bonus is universally 3, is that correct?
Well, it'll happen automatically on the character sheet as you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
character sheet takes care of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, your character will start at level 5. Okay. All right. So normal watch cycle.
Normal watch cycle. Well, minus Steve Dark Magic.
Well, Steve was never on the watch cycle because
It's pretty lazy.
What a
only
jerk.
Recto and Zig take watch.
Yeah, I guess so, because we're LVs. There we go.
Who's playing that?
Yeah.
Is someone like sketching photos in real time of Steve and, like showing them?
All right. So you're able to pull together all of you into the one of the former command tents, and the mood is somber. Iku purposefully gives you some space. Knows that she's not one of you. Everybody kind of settles down with your thoughts. Everybody digesting what's happened in this very, very long, trying day. And everybody does their best to get an evening's sleep, which is going to count as a short rest for everybody. So if you have hit dice, you can spend them. If there's any spells you get back as part of a short rest, you can get those back.
We got that Nick doubling thing, right?
Wait, so what is that again?
If you roll a hit dice, you get 2.
Only once, though, right?
There's an extra
Only
dice
once.
So if you roll 2 hit
So I
dice, you
just
still only
so if
get
I want to
once.
use it, I could just roll a hit dice twice and have
Yeah,
it.
so you
only
get
count.
1 extra hit dice for free
Gotcha. Okay.
for your short rest.
But you don't add your modifier to it, I don't think, right?
That is a good question. I would assume that you do, but let's look at that because I don't think we've really done this before, have we?
Haven't done a lot of things before tonight.
Or is it
Like-
D6? You just get to roll an extra D6. It's
Yeah,
not
just
a dice.
6. It's not a hit. It's not a hit dice. That's a good point.
It's just an extra D6.
It's an extra D6 of health that you get,
So
not
it's
an extra
8.
hit dice.
8 plus.
So I would roll a d6 by itself.
So same thing.
Yeah, you would roll your one of your hit dice. You don't get the D6 unless you roll a hit dice.
Right.
So you have to spend one of your hit dice, roll that, and then you also roll a separate D6.
Christ.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
Well, at least you guys rolled your max on your hit die.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a short rest soon, or a long rest, excuse me, soon.
We are. Yeah.
I got 1 hit dice left.
Yep. Same. I'll be
Are
right
we
back.
at this Camp Righteous yet? No, we're not. Not even
We're
close.
not.
By
We're
the way,
close.
we don't even know that that's a safe place. I just want to throw that out there.
You are currently in Camp Righteous. Camp
that's
Vengeance
right.
is further upstream.
I'll be right
Oh,
back.
Camp Righteous is not very righteous.
Hey, can we take a let's go ahead and use this as our 15-minute pause. And hey, Hillers, can you give me a call?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me find my phone.
You should put that on speakerphone. I want to hear that. What you say?
Is this like one of those documentaries where we get somebody didn't take their mic off?
You right? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Anthony, you okay, buddy?
Yeah,
You
I'm
look
good.
pretty sad about Steve Dark Magic.
Well, I'm waiting for some kind of skeleton NPC to come around. I had a lot of good. I was just waiting for the.
You get
right
to be Steve in a minute.
Just imagine this. Imagine this scene. You guys are all sitting around the campfire watching the body, not the campfire, but the fire, the funeral pyre of Steve Dark Magic.
Smoldering ash and fat.
In the wind. Next thing you know, a bony arm reaches you across on your shoulder and whispers in your ear. It's unfortunate that I forgot my marshmallows. I don't know. Anything can happen.
That's pretty good. Oh.
Got to work on the voice a little bit though. Need a little lower and drawn out.
I'm kind of Sauce, that's your hindsight, that was a really bad decision to try to drag his body out.
Yeah, that was very interesting for my first view of this game, having a beloved character die.
That's a pretty epic way to handle that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't even really do anything wrong. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Story of Steve's life.
Yeah. See, like, it's so funny because he kept oscillating between being like hyper cautious with that character and then being like completely and utterly reckless.
So my early.
And then I gotta roll.
Okay.
Well, I guess it was bound to happen at some point, right? He died how he lived, trying to rush into things and loot them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Ah, that sucks. Sorry.
That's been his.
I was going to until the sides kind of that saving roll. I was going to try to catch the sides as they kind of started to go there, or web them or something in that nature. But man, I didn't think the thud would be a whole failed death save.
Like, not even a failed death save, but like an epic failure of a death save.
Well, no, the him hitting the ground, he got an automatic failed death save.
Yeah.
Because he rolled a success and a fail, and he thumped the ground, which was an automatic fail, and then he rolled the 1. And by the time he rolled the 1, I mean, I can't stop those blades. Like, he rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sucks.
There's like 0 chance he gets back.
Well, no, I mean, like some.
And Anthony was here for the death of Steve Dark Magic.
Yeah, Anthony. You're bad luck, Anthony.
Hey, guys, I think he can come back as Stacy Dark Magic because then flames of the
Stephanie?
transgender.
Stephanie Dark Magic?
Instead of Handsy, it'll just be Danny.
You missed my flames of the transgender joke, though.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, I would say I've been missing it, Bob.
I'm going to grab a beer while this is happening.
Yeah. So his second death save was a 12, which would have typically been a pass also. So,
But his third death save was a 1, which is 2 death saves.
right. Yeah, I think Troy was even like trying to find a way to make it work, and then he rolled a 1, and it's just like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. No. Clearly
Like, I would have thought about giving him like a bardic inspiration, but it's like, I don't think that I could inspire him if you're dead.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah.
So they were all wiped out.
Well, we might get a little more tanky than that.
That's silver lining is he's going to roll a fighter, I think. So.
Maybe.
Well, Steve always wanted some loot. I guess we all kind of knew it was going to end up this way.
Yeah. He died how he lived.
Greedy as shit.
Stomach outside of his body.
But he dies penniless in a pit.
With a rope around his waist, being dragged by his friends.
That just went so bad so fast.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't make any of his saves.
He made his first one, and then it went so bad from there.
Let's say about.
Talking to.
Well,
I might mute him.
not first.
So, in terms of description.
Yeah. Huh. All you want to be is not the first person to die.
All right, we can all just kind of say, not it. No, we can all feel free to just go ahead and die.
Yeah. Dude, this place is serious, man.
What's going to be funny, they're going to ask 5 of us to start this epic adventure to save death. It's to be 5 people in and a brand new, completely different 5 people out. You guys aren't the ones I asked to do this.
Contracted it out.
Or if one of us is left, that person's going to have roped in 4 other people to possibly their death.
What is Recto's icon? Is that like Alien's most inner mouth?
Eh?
Discuss?
What is that?
I didn't hear you.
What do you mean Recto's icon?
The big stone fist.
Oh. My stone fist, man.
It's just proxy.
Have you seen my stone fist? You want to see it?
Show it off. He likes to show it off and make it glow and shoot things.
It lights up.
Should I be watching it?
No, I'm not actually doing anything. That's a joke.
All right, do we have everybody back?
That's how I make small talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys awaken in the morning, and at first it's just a normal morning, and then 10. It varies for each of you. 10 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes. Eventually, you realize what has happened, and realize that one of you is missing. And the weight of the no, same person, Steve. You realize Steve's missing.
You're
the weight
grieving,
of yesterday's
kid.
events kind of kick back in, and you realize that the jungle's already started to extract a steep price after less than a week.
It's not that steep.
Jungle sucks.
More of a Steve place.
All right, so you are still in Camp Righteous. There's still a temple there. You were able to recover Steve's stuff. We can figure out who gets what later, unless you guys need to figure that out right now. I'd recommend kind of figuring out what to do next.
I have dibs on Hansy.
Hansy
There was a
is
staff of spider walking or something like that. It seems
Yes.
rather pertinent. So,
Yeah, I mean that could go to either Roland or Zig. I'm sure.
No, I can already do that.
Zig, it's yours, I guess. If you
so
want it.
Zig.
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Anybody have
Okay.
any ideas
So-
on this puzzle? These numbers?
Well, I think first of all we need to stop the sites and get across that pit, and then we can deal with it.
Are we seriously fucking talking about going back into this thing?
No, I'm just. I'm
Oh
not.
yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Sure, what could go wrong?
Look,
I'll let the 2 of them
Says
know I want
some idiot.
nothing. I'll let the 2 of them know I want nothing to fucking do with this.
look. I'm sure we could lash together several bamboo. Poke the numbers from a distance. Okay, just tap.
Like if we can neutralize the scythes, then it's just a matter of figuring out what the numbers mean, right?
Getting burned
Right.
to death.
Well, if we
Well,
figure out
so-
what the numbers
Thanks, others.
mean, we won't get burned to death.
We can go loot now that we have some time and not being attacked by the undead or this. We should go through the camp and find out if we can find any numbers anywhere. Or we don't look. Actually, as characters, we don't know about them, right? But we should explore the camp more before going back in.
True.
Just to be clear, there were no numbers on
All right,
tiles.
got it. Any sort of
That-
pattern reference?
You know which ones they aren't.
Oh, that's just a guide for us. That's just so
The
we
numbers-
can
the
communicate
numbers-
to you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Understood.
I could guess which ones aren't going to be great. Starting with 13.
Okay. So what are you guys doing? You guys are camp? Is that
Yeah, I'd like to explore. I mean, personally, and I'm talking to the group now as whatever. I'd like to explore the camp some more, be diligent about it, and then make a plan to go back into the temple. You guys, let me know how you feel.
I'm willing to search, but I am not
But you know what?
willing to go back into the temple.
Walk.
I don't want to go in the temple.
Why don't we look around the camp, see if we find anything that maybe changes the outlook on the temple. You know, maybe something pops up that kind of helps us, that makes it a little easier to get in. You know? But I'm fine moving on, or I don't know.
I'd like to kind of is Eco in the same tent?
so Iku rose before all of you, but you can see her outside, waiting patiently.
I would like to go speak to her.
Okay.
She's waiting.
You approach her and she turns to you and says, "Once again, I'm sorry for your loss."
Yes, it's been hard on all of us.
I wouldn't call it a loss.
Yeah.
what the hell was that?
You people.
This temple is one of many in the jungle that was built long ago, and as you have seen, there are protections, both magical and mechanical,
Yeah, I'll say.
to ensure that the most valuable goods within the temple are only available to those that are deemed worthy.
Who builds a temple that can last for thousands of years and still continue to operate like this?
Perhaps Utao himself, perhaps other gods. This I cannot say.
So you're saying that there are relics and treasures of the gods within these temples?
There are, but if I may speak frankly, those treasures, those relics, are for the people of Chult, not for you.
Understood. I have no plans of going back in. If there's anything else that you can tell us about this area that we already don't know, we're deep in. We would appreciate that.
I would prefer, if you are asking me my choice, what I would prefer. I would prefer that we leave the relics where they lay, leave them to the gods, and we move forward to Umbala so that we can cleanse it of the great evil that has descended upon it.
I would agree with you. I think we're going to do a little bit more looking around here, make sure that we kind of gather what we can, and hopefully we will be on our way. And I'd like to walk back into the tent.
Okay. So who's so it sounds like some of you guys are investigating.
I'll tell you when they'll be here in just a minute. Yeah.
Okay, so there are some small tents to the north. There are 2 command tents in the middle, and then there was the burnt down parish, effectively, to the southeast. Who's investigating what, and what are you doing?
Can we see that
Sort of
map
west,
again?
southeast.
You can.
Thank you.
I'll investigate the church.
Yeah, I was...
Okay, so is anybody going with Squawk to the church?
I'm gonna go to the boats.
I'll go to the church.
Okay, so Roland, you go to the boats. Iku follows you to the boats.
Maybe we shouldn't split up.
Look who got cautious all of a sudden.
Yeah. Just
So
saying.
Recto and Squawk want to go to the church. Zigmundo, what are you doing?
Church.
Okay. Okay. And I don't think so. I guess Recto, you were here briefly. It's really it's more of a shrine. You can tell that it's mostly destroyed. It looks like some sort of fire has burnt most of it.
Is there a place that I can perch?
Yeah. There's there is a half of remains.
Okay, I kind of want to when I'm lurking, searching. Like I want to be at the highest point, looking down, looking.
Okay, so you swoop up and you're perched on top of what is the remains of an old chimney.
Okay, that's where I'm looking for stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so you guys are standing outside this shrine. What do you do?
Who can we tell who it's a shrine to? Are there any indications? I mean, I'm guessing Uptal, but
Looking around. So looking around, you do recognize that this is not this shrine is an ancient shrine. This shrine was likely built by. So EQ previously told you that this camp had once, very recently, belonged to the Order of the Gauntlet, which is a faction from the Sword Coast, where you all are from. The style of this building is a recent style of building that would remind you of a building from the Sword Coast, so it does not seem to be ancient in any way.
Would it remind us of a shit town that has dragons in it?
Yes.
Gotta live, gotta
It's closer
live,
to that.
gotta live.
So from the outside, you cannot tell who. You can go in and take a closer look if you'd like.
Okay. I would like to cautiously step in then.
Okay. And so, there's kind of one wall is intact and there's two portions of wall supporting it, barely holding it up. But you're able to easily step over the rest of the remnants of the walls, and you have to be cautious as you step in because the footing is not entirely solid. There's pieces of wood and brick that just lay where they fell. But as you step around, you're able to approach what looks like a burnt altar that was probably the place where either sermons were given or offerings were given. It's difficult to say now, but you can see that it was some sort of focal point of the shrine.
I'll be right back, guys.
These are the footings difficult. Is there like a basement underneath? Is that way that is, or?
As best as you can tell, there's nothing beneath you other than dirt. This is a more permanent structure than the rest of the camp, but still quite haphazardly built. It's more like things fell on top of one another. A wall crumbles. You're the first to be stepping on it, so the bricks will shift. The wood will crack and collapse.
I'd like to try to figure out who the altar is. Who they're worshiping.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a investigation check. So as you look around the altar, you do find a silver pendant. Just a second. A silver pendant kind of dangling from the side of that altar. You pick it up and go ahead and do a religion check.
Ew.
Okay. So you recognize that the symbol is the shape of a gauntlet. And you know that this is Torm, who is frequently one of the gods aligned closely with the Order of the Gauntlet.
Okay.
And he stands for truth and loyalty, righteousness. It's a nice silver pendant. It's probably worth about 25 gold.
Torm, you said? Torm?
Torm, Torm.
Okay. All right. I'd like to pick up the pendant and kind of just store it in my pocket.
Okay. Roll up. No, just kidding. Yep.
You catch on fire. You take another point.
And then
Roll
size
3
come
immediate
down
death
and-
saves, and you're dead.
And you're dead. Fighter is taken. Don't take it.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, you pick it up and pocket it.
And just as we're walking around this camp too, I'd like to look for just a basic, like keep my eyes open for a dagger of some kind, just like a basic, normal dagger.
Okay. So you guys, are you done looking around the shrine, or Sigmundo? Is there anything you want to do?
I'd like to just go kick around in there for a minute.
Okay. So you kick around. You see what looks like they might have once been pews that are long since destroyed and burnt. You don't see any bodies. You don't see.
Is there a skeleton
other-
perhaps?
You do not see any skeletons.
Mayhaps.
All right.
If you wanted to find a skeleton, though, you've created
There's
some
plenty.
skeletons recently,
I know
Yeah.
there's a few.
but there are none in here.
I don't think Anthony's within earshot at the moment. He really wanted to play a dead skeleton.
Oh, Anthony just left.
Oh, he left the party.
His favorite
I don't know.
character.
Is
He's
there any sort of rubble or markings on the walls or paintings or anything like that? Or
So the walls, the really, there's effectively one remaining wall, and it's completely covered in soot.
I'll walk up and I'll take my hand and just kind of wipe away some of the soot.
Okay. So as you wipe it away, you see a pretty plain gray wall behind it that looks like it was equal parts of stone and mortar, not something that would be terribly stable or strong. Something that looks like it was put together just with the materials that were found nearby. This wasn't, really nicely masoned bricks. This is, grab the local, the stones they're able to dig up and mortar it together haphazardly.
Okay. So nothing special about it. I turn to everybody and go, I don't have anything to do here.
Yeah, I'm
Wow,
good.
Recto.
I'm good.
I would like to. I'd like to know that I'd like to go to Porta Johns
Okay.
just to double check that. While we're going around.
All right. Recto and Squawk, do you guys go to the?
I mean, it has been months.
Latrines
It has
with
been
Sigmundo?
months since we've BM'd, so.
we all take a group shit.
If we're RPing this out, I mean,
If you're RPing it out, you all would have been
yeah.
consumed by disease weeks ago.
That's true.
Locke actually is really good at pooping on things.
Yeah, that's true. You have shit and things.
Hey, you can't just shit like a bear in the woods.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so you approach the.
Statue.
So one of the latrines has been completely destroyed. It's knocked over. You can see the pit below it that's been dug down into the ground. One of the latrines is actually quite intact and seems to have survived well.
Nice. Is that the one that Zygmundo wrote on earlier? Is
What?
that the one you wrote the derogatory
Yeah.
comments about my mother on?
That's
earlier?
right. No. So that was right. So yeah, you did find writing on one of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which one has the writing?
We found it, or Zig wrote?
You found writing.
What did the writing say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I should have noted that.
So it said for a good time, scry Pern.
8675309.
P-E-R-N-E.
It's the code.
What is it? K-E what?
It's P-E-R-N-E.
E-R-N-E. Okay.
You're a monk, for God's sake.
No, I'm just saying that's not why I'm doing it. We're going to we may run into the people who evacuated from here, and so
I just wanted to show her my glowing
You
fist.
yeah.
pervy monk.
That's not okay. Right. I'm following
done with
Zig
the
and Squawk
latrines,
here,
or-
so
Getting your rocks off
Well,
so
so-
soon after my tragic death. You should be ashamed of yourself.
is that a stonefish joke?
Yeah, kind of. Pun intended.
All right, so if you guys are you guys done with the latrines? Is there anything else you want to do here?
Is there a dagger in the latrines?
There's not a dagger in the latrines.
Okay,
Check the
Then-
goblin corpses.
then I'm done. But yeah, I would like to. Yeah, if there's goblin corpses around, like to
There's all
maybe.
kinds of
You ever
corpses.
worked at Recto?
They were mostly to the north, by the tents and the canoes.
Have we checked out these tents down over here?
You have not.
All right. I'd like to. I mean, are you guys interested in searching around here, or what?
Yeah.
So, can we move down to these southwestern tents and go through them?
Sure. So you get down there and you look around, and the tents are still in relatively good shape. Inside, you see some straw that looks like it was used for some bedding. You see some kind of what looks like it was discarded and rotten food. It's pretty haphazard, but you don't see any equipment. You don't see any bodies. Nothing of value seems to have been left behind.
Hmm. Squawk, you got anything?
Not right now. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna fly around like a little like above the tents, looking for information, looking for things.
Which tents are you talking about?
The bottom, the two southern ones. Can I do that?
The big ones?
Yes.
Okay, so you're flying above them looking for information.
I guess that doesn't sound very accurate, does it? I probably won't.
Did
get
you
much
see
information.
what's your Squawk is seeing what you're seeing.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were in the southwest. I'm sorry.
You were, but is that where you want to? Like, what are you trying to fly? What are you trying to look at?
You know what? I was actually dealing with a Uber situation with Anthony, so I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. So I'm gonna pass and not do anything stupid right now.
Okay.
I've learned my lesson.
Okay.
What exactly is an
Recto-
Uber situation?
A situation involving an Uber.
I mean, I know that, but like, doesn't the just Uber comes, you get in it, and it
Yeah,
goes?
but it was just making sure that everything was taken care of. That's all.
Gotcha.
All right, Zigmundo and Recto, are you guys done with these tents? Anything you
Yeah,
want
we're
to
done.
do?
Done with these
I mean,
tents.
the other thing I want to kind of keep an eye out for as we're rolling around is anything that indicates the kind of the lore behind the temple, that may give us any kind of hints as to the way to get into this temple, about the story
Sure.
about the alligator and the man and all that stuff, or the crocodile and the man or whatever. So
Yeah. So Iku knows the story about the crocodile and the man.
right.
Everything that you've like all of these tents, right, are new. Like they do not belong to the same people that built the temple.
Gotcha.
Like the temple's thousands of years old. These tents are probably 6 to 8 months old.
Yeah. So these guys didn't get in there. They don't know what they're doing. So okay.
Well, you don't know that, but you haven't seen any evidence that they have.
Okay.
All right. Where to next?
Dig, following you, man.
So I will go to the big temple, the big tent up to the north, the northern one.
This one right here.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go to that one as well.
Okay. So, Squawk, are you like flying above it or going inside of it?
Well, I fly to it, but I'll walk inside of it.
Okay. So you fly to it. Zigmunda, you were going over there as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't quite get there. Like, Squawk gets there first. Recto, are you going with them?
Yep.
Okay. And so you go inside of this tent, Squawk. It's a very spacious tent that seems to have mostly survived whatever events caused the people who built it to flee, or whatever they've done. There are some tables that have been flipped over, some chairs that seem to have been destroyed, signs of commotion and scuffle. There are some papers strewn about. There was a chest that was already explored a bit. What are you looking for?
A chest that was explored a little bit.
You guys looked inside the chest. Remember, you found that 1 gold
Oh, right.
or 3 gold or whatever it was.
So, I mean, the goal here is to find out the people left here. So, I mean, if there's like any sort of papers on the ground or something.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, and the papers are pretty strewn about. They're not
Not a
in
neat
nice
stack.
book bindings. So go ahead and whoever's going to be investigating. So who wants to be the lead investigator for the papers?
What is my investigation is 4, but without.
Go for it.
Yeah.
And so if somebody else wants to help him, you can have advantage on it.
Sure.
All right, good. I'll take advantage of it. Investigation. Not. Oh, well, I got advantage.
So a lot of the papers that you look through are pretty boring things like quartermaster stock. You see some letters back and forth with somebody in Port 9 Zaru that seems to be just updates about the march into the jungle. You see some other notes about personnel. You see, but you do find eventually, it takes you about 30 minutes. Eventually, you do come across a set of papers talking about cautiously exploring the temple that they've camped by. And you learn that they only made it as far as the scythes before retreating. So they had planned to go back in, but you don't see anything else. No updates after that.
Steve, you made it further than they did, and they were here for months.
Oh,
Well, they were here months ago.
Months ago.
Yeah, well, they had enough time to actually write something on paper about going in.
Sure.
Yeah.
What have we learned?
Don't crawl on mysterious ceilings.
So we already know about the scythes, so I don't think we're going to find anything.
I didn't know touching a door would result in my instant death. I mean, that's
Welcome to the
pretty
jungle.
Pretty extreme, right?
We
Yeah.
got fun and games.
They do. Like, they do have fun and games.
all right. So, are we done in this tent? Do we want to go check out the other?
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Okay.
You're checking out the other tent? So you
Let's
said
go to the other tent.
okay. Each of you roll a d6.
Oh boy.
6.
Each of you 3.
Oh, I like the next.
Wow,
17.
somebody got a 17
Oh,
on a
yeah.
D6.
That's.
The first one was a 5.
Wish I had have done that.
He's an overachiever.
Nick rolled a 5.
Nick rolled 4 times somehow. I'm not sure what happened there.
All right. So
Probably
we've
a
actually got a
bard
4,
thing.
a 5, and a 1. Not sure what was going on there.
Yeah.
So as you guys walk into the tent, it looks like it was perhaps some sort of medical tent. You do see some some medical tools, very crude tools that are started to rust already, scattered along the ground. You see some medical beds that have been destroyed. As Recto, as you're rooting around, pulling back some sacks of ruined some sort of grain that's already deep into rot. You pull one back, and a snake comes out.
Always have to be
And-
snakes.
It is a jungle.
That'll
I
hit.
don't like that.
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
And
That
I'm,
I roll.
I'm dead.
So you're going to take 6 damage.
Do we kill the snake?
So the snake shoots up, bites into your arm. It only stings for a second, but then you can feel as it pumps some poison into you. It's hanging on your arm.
No.
All right.
It's hanging on your arm.
Oh no.
I oh jeez. I yank it out, and I would like to try to stomp on its head.
All right. Go ahead and do an attack roll.
With your fist.
All right. So you throw it down onto the ground, and you're about to stomp on it. It looks like it's just going to get away from you as it's really fast, but you are barely able to shift your weight and still bring your heel right down as you feel it kind of put a little pressure against your heel and then pop as you completely flatten its head, killing it.
Can I suck out the poison on my own? Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah,
Ew.
hit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna suck out the poison.
It's counterindicated.
Roll one and swallow the poison.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check. Okay. So you bring your arm up to your mouth and start to suck out of the 2 wounds, and
You suck
taste
all right.
a bitter sour mixture in your mouth. You spit it up. Do it a couple
Not
more
for the
times.
first time, am I right? Hey.
So wait,
And
before I do
after-
that, are there any like flasks, like intact flasks around or anything? Or like
Sure.
intact like bottles or jars or anything?
Sure.
I'd like to spit it into one of those.
All right, so you pull it in your mouth. You can taste that sour flavor. You look around. You do find a little bottle. There's no top, but you could probably improvise one later, and you're able to spit out about an ounce of this mixture of your blood and some poison.
All right. Cool. So am I
Okay.
am I gonna die from this poison? What's the deal here?
No, it's done what it needs to do.
Okay.
We just kill you slowly.
It's done what it needs to do. You have a day to live.
This poison's fine. It did what it had to do.
We're doing great in the jungle. So glad we rushed down here.
All right.
You guys wanted more combat and danger.
Yeah,
Delivered.
you have taken the notes we gave you and ran with them.
All right. Anything else in this tent?
Ran with them right to my grave.
Any healing potions laying around or anything like that? You know, just saying.
No, it looks like anything of. There's nothing left of value that. It looks, having looked through a couple, several tents now, it looks to you like A, people left in a hurry, but B, if anything had been left behind, it does look like perhaps other creatures, other people have come through already in the intervening few weeks.
Yeah.
Or months.
All right.
Anything that would be of value at this point would have to be pretty well hidden.
All right. Do we know what we're looking for?
What are you looking for?
That's my question.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
that's-
looking.
Okay, so I can tell you one. I can tell you that Squawk has no idea what we're looking for.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
what is he doing? Why is he following them then?
He's following them, helping them look for things. But like, I know that we're looking for information on the temple. But what in particular are we looking for about the temple?
I mean, so me as a player wants to find out if there's any more information than that site thing. Like, is there a pattern to the floor? Is there any?
But that's the
more
question:
about
is how do we know what the like? I guess you might because you were kind of involved in that. But like, I have not been. Like, I don't know that there's a puzzle. I don't know.
No, I understand what you're saying.
None of the characters know about none of the living characters know about the grid.
So we're not necessarily looking for anything on the grid, but what we did realize is that entering that temple is going to be quite dangerous, and there is already 2 traps that we know of. So we're trying to find out any kind of info on entering the temple that we can find.
We know there is a third trap, but we don't know
That's
what
the question. That's where I'm trying to find what that disconnect is. Is like, what information am I looking for versus what information does? Okay, that's
And Zigmundo would know that he heard a loud boom, and then separately, following that, he saw some sort of fire.
And
He doesn't know what
Steve's
caused
guts.
the. Yeah. So he knows that there's more stuff past the sides.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean,
He also
that's,
knows what Steve's entrails look like.
He does.
This is true.
As do you all, and you seem strangely unfazed by it.
Oh, I'm tore up inside. Don't worry.
Oh, too soon. Too soon.
Nicely done. Yeah, so it's more
It's really
just
cutting
seeing if
down.
these guys know anything about the temple, but it's clearly it's pretty clear that I don't think they do. I think.
Well, guys, we still haven't checked out the latrines to the north.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm really just like shooting in the dark here.
So if there's nothing in this tent, I'd like to head back to Iku and ask her what's next on the river. Like, what's our next, not necessarily stop, but possible, I don't know, thing we might run into or encounter with something.
So you guys make your way back to the boats where Iku and Roland are, and Iku tells you that a couple of days' journey upstream will find Camp Vengeance. She understands that this is where she has not been there yet, but this is where the foreigners who had been camping here relocated after they were driven out. And that beyond that, you'll be entering the Aldari Basin, and at that point you will disembark and have to head deeper into the jungle by foot to reach Mbala.
Let's go to Camp Vengeance.
You want to go there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm the only one.
Can I ask her a little bit more about this group and like who forced them out of here? Because we're about to likely meet them in the next like day or so, and I don't know if we know too much about them.
Yeah, so what she tells you is that she's heard that it was the undead that forced them out, that a wave of the undead that came out of the jungle to the east forced the camp to flee deeper into the jungle. She does not know much about their forces. They are foreigners. She says that you are much more likely to know about them than she is. She knows that they're called the Order of the Gauntlet. It's meaningless to her. This is not something that is of interest to her.
Is this a name that any of us would have encountered? Can I kind of look around the group and has anybody?
You guys would probably have heard if any of you had spent, so especially those that had spent time in big cities, would have heard of these guys. They're almost like a police force against the undead.
Okay.
Like kind of fanatics.
Bang up job they're doing.
Probably a good thing we're not trying to bring Steve back. I don't think they would like us coming through.
Yeah, maybe they should retire and we could be the police force against the undead. They fled and we killed them all. But
well, let's go see if they'll give us some badges.
Yeah, Zig, if you want to keep looking around, man, go ahead. I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to come over and ask Iku that question. I'm not necessarily ready to leave yet. I just wanted to ask her that. So I'll follow you around if you wanted to look at some other stuff.
Yeah, all right. I mean, there's like a bigger tent up here. The ones with the X's flat tents.
Those have been flattened, correct?
All right. Yeah, I'd like to go into the bigger tent.
Okay. So you walk by Steve's grave, walking around it, careful not to step on it.
Rip.
And you enter a larger tent that has multiple holes torn in the side of it. It looks like something is kind of scraped down the side of it. In the inside of it, it looks like this was maybe some sort of storeroom at some point. You do see that there were a few crates left behind, but all seem to be empty outside of some straw sitting in the bottom of each of the crates.
Fuck, who's gonna row the second boat? Shit. Now I am torn up about this.
Well, Zig has to.
Maybe recto row you by the shore.
Oh, we covered that one.
Sorry,
right?
that was a sidebar there. Sorry.
All right, so there's nothing in this. Can I use like a stick to move some of the straw on the bottom of I use the end of my 1/5 staff to
Yeah, sure. You poke around, you stir around. You see some feathers at the bottom that when you look at it, it looks like they probably belonged to fletchings of an arrow. But nothing else.
All right. I'm gonna go to these latrines,
Okay.
and that'll end my quest if nothing turns up there.
So as you approach these latrines, you notice that there's a stench of something rotting.
Oh no.
But there's no motion, there's no sound coming from the latrines.
I don't want to roll initiative. Can I use my staff to cautiously like open the door?
Sure. So you open the door to the southernmost latrine, and a wave of the stench hits you. It's whatever this is. It's coming from this latrine. But as you look inside, the door itself is only hanging on a single hinge, so it kind of opens awkwardly and creaks as it opens. But you see nothing inside.
Scared. Can I look at the other one as well?
Mm-hmm. So you, as you move away from the southern latrine, you approach the other one, which that door is just off of both hinges, leaned up against the latrine. You're able to kind of poke at the door. The door just falls off down onto the ground. That latrine is also empty.
Okay. Can I get a rock and toss it down the hole in the first latrine to find out?
On the southern one?
On the southern one, please. Yes.
Okay. So you pick up a nice sized rock about the size of your fist, and you toss it over the edge, like careful to not get too close. And a second later, you hear a metallic dink, 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 dink with a little bit of an echo, as if it hit some sort of metal.
All right. I'm gonna use a message to let. Oh wait, Rector said he was following me.
I did say
you
that.
follow
I think,
me?
yes.
Okay, so Recto's with you. Okay.
All right. So I look at him going with, what was that? And look. And then I ask, what was that noise?
I look at him saying, I zoned out for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
When I was
basically, I threw a rock down this latrine. There's a horrible stench coming from it, like a dead body. And I threw a rock down it, and it made a metal clanging noise, and I was just way down.
Really?
Yes.
So you're in like, is this like a porta-john type thing, or what are we talking about here? What's this look like?
Well, it's not really a porta john; it's a latrine. The difference being that this is sitting over top of a hole that's been dug into the ground,
Dude, would you never
like a
shit in
deep hole.
latrine?
All right, I'd like to.
Stone fist.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna light it. I'm gonna light up my stone fist and kind of point it down there and see what I can see.
Wait. Can I just ask? You're gonna stone fist the stinky hole?
Yeah, I am. That's what I do.
So you're gonna go into the latrine, like into the building. This building, right? It's small.
Was he not in there already?
He was just like hanging out outside of it, but he's opened the door.
Oh,
It can fit two of them. It can fit one of you.
yeah. All right, well then I'd like to say. So was he standing in it, or he just opened the door?
No. Go in at all.
He didn't go in. He just opened the door and was looking.
All right. Well then I'd like to open the door and check for traps.
Okay. Go ahead and are you just generally checking for traps?
Yeah, like tapping my foot on the ground, like
Check for a stinky trap.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception.
16 passive.
Okay. Does not seem to be trapped. It's like a few pieces of wood kind of clacked together.
I don't care, man. I'm checking.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, Zig, you mind if I kind of look down that stinky hole?
Go ahead.
Right.
Push him.
No one would know.
No.
So
one-
you light up the stone fist and kind of use it to shine a light down into the latrine's pit, and you see light shining back at you, gleaming off of metal that's kind of mixed with the muck. It looks like it's the corpse of some sort of warrior who's wearing some kind of armor, metal armor, and has it looks like a metal hammer.
Oh God.
Is this Steve's new character we're gonna bring back?
It's gonna be a minute, but
His origin is from the shithole.
The corpse itself looks.
You think my
looks-
town was a shithole? This guy's literally from a shithole.
the corpse itself is certainly
background
appears to be
shithole
dead,
dweller.
but
Okay.
it's not a full skeleton, so it doesn't. It looks like it's not been days, but it hasn't been years.
Does the armor look nice? Like plate? Can I tell?
It doesn't look so. It's not a single thing of metal, like continuous metal. So it looks more to like it's overlapping scales.
How far down is it?
Probably 8 feet.
8 feet. Who digs a latrine like that? Jesus.
Jump.
Somebody wants to throw a body in it?
I got a rope. You get a hook or something. Put Herman down it.
No, let's not bring Herman back. That's a bad idea, I think.
That'll fix it.